This podcast is brought to you by your neighborhood plumber, Connolly Plumbing Solutions. Next time you need a plumber, call Connolly Plumbing Solutions at 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com.
Pack your bags, start the car, and get on the road. It's time to go across the country, 2 minutes at a time, for the biggest stories of the day, where they're happening.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Indianapolis, Indiana. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Cleveland, Ohio. Boston, Mass. Miami, Florida.
It's the 2-minute drill on the program.
Second half of the program begins right now with the 2-minute drill. It's brought to you by our friends at Twin Peaks. Happy hour is kicking right now at Twin Peaks. Get over there. Great weekend this past weekend. UFC 264 on. The Copa and UEFA Euro finals were both on at Twin Peaks. It is a great time to get to Twin Peaks. Remember, great lunch specials. You can step up your lunch game at Twin Peaks. Light yet hearty combos put together for you, available at an awesome price. Savory soups, crisp salads, variety of sandwiches to satisfy whatever craving you might have. You can enjoy your next lunch break at Twin Peaks, twinpeaksrestaurant.com to find the location nearest you. And don't forget, Miss Twin Peaks voting is live right now. Go to twinpeaksrestaurant.com and put in your vote. We get things started here on the drill in Phoenix, Arizona. That is where Luke Lipinski is right now. 98.7 Arizona Sports is up first. Luke, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How you doing?
Not bad. Suns down 2-1. Is there any fear from Suns fans?
I don't think yet. I mean, it's always going to be concerning when a guy like Giannis is going off, and he has gone off the last 2 games. But over the course of the season, plus these last 2 games, he's averaged 37 points against the Suns, and they've won 4 of the 5. So I don't think there's fear yet. But there were certainly parts of that game last night where you're like, probably got to get that sewn up pretty quick, otherwise it could go south.
Monty Williams talking about the free throws, the fact that Giannis had more than his whole team did. Didn't mention kind of the free throw disparity that maybe was going on down in Phoenix. I think that's just, coach trying to get in the refs' heads through the media. So I think it's a smart business. Or is it more than that? Is there a frustration that's genuine beyond just trying to get the refs' whistle?
No, I think he's pretty intentional when he says something like that. Monty doesn't usually complain about the officiating, but it is a story from the game just because Giannis. It's not just that he took more free throws, but he was 13 of 17. The Suns were 11 of 16. So it's like Giannis took more and made more free throws than the Suns, and he obviously doesn't usually do that. Last night he was hitting them. The crowd wasn't counting down like they have been in Phoenix and these other arenas when Milwaukee's gone on the road. So if Giannis could go out there and put up 13 out of 17, that could be an issue going forward.
Yeah, no doubt. Do they need to get DeAndre Ayton more involved? I know fouls were a problem there, but when a guy's shooting like 80%, maybe some logic could be get him the ball more or no?
Yeah, but that was a weird game last night because he was so dominant at the beginning and then he was just gone and he only played 24 minutes because of the fouls. He's done a good job of staying out of foul trouble throughout the playoffs. I don't think they would change much about him when he is on the floor. That was just a little bit of an issue last night. But generally speaking, they don't necessarily run their offense for him a ton. Maybe they should do that a little bit more, but it's been working because, they run their normal offense. If the ball gets near him, like you said, he's putting it in the hoop, 7, 8 out of 10 times anyway. And if there's any sort of rebound, he's right there. I think they like everything about him so far, except last night he just, he wasn't out there enough.
Devin Booker has been cold more than he's been hot. Is this getting any conversation in Phoenix?
Yeah, well, it's getting conversation just because Monty sat him down for the fourth quarter last night. And when you look at how the Suns' scoring breaks down in the playoffs, Devin Booker is very clearly your leading scorer by quite a bit over the course of all 4 rounds. He's generally a pretty efficient shooter. There have been a few games, mainly in that Clippers series and then last night, where the shot wasn't falling and he was still kind of taking a lot of shots and maybe tried to force some things last night. It's not like a concern like, Devin Booker's, there's something wrong with him. It just kind of raised eyebrows that he didn't play the fourth quarter last night. And now, like, if you're a Suns fan, if he goes out there and shoots poorly in Game 4 and you lose, then that's when you're going to hear some actual concern.
Something we've debated is this Suns team kind of like the Dirk Nowitzki Mavericks, grabbing their one championship, and if they do grab it, be it them or the Bucks, but that's the same thing in Milwaukee as well. Is this just an opportunity where the door's open? Either one of these teams, it's going to be a championship, right? It's going to be well-earned. I'm not trying to knock it, but we're going to look back and be like, wow, it's just kind of a perfect storm of things that came together. Or is this the birth of a dynasty? How's it viewed in Phoenix?
I mean, I think it's funny. People here don't want to talk about past this year, but it's not like it's just more of just the job this year isn't done, and they've obviously never won a title, so everybody's so hyper focused on that. You don't know how long Chris Paul is going to be able to play at this level, but in general, the other pieces that are here are guys you drafted, and it's DeAndre Ayton, it's Devin Booker, it's some of these other guys, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson's been better lately. They're all guys that are kind of growing up alongside Chris Paul's tutelage, but also in these playoffs now in these finals. So, I don't want to say dynasty, they haven't won one yet, but certainly there is the thought that this is the start of something where this team's going to be a serious contender every year for at least, the next few years.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, the Diamondbacks take Jordan Lawler at number 6. I ask about this because the Royals were said to be interested in the prep shortstops, and this is the one that most people had rated as the number 1 shortstop, and he went right in front of the Royals, who then clearly went signability with their selection. What's the reaction to what the Diamondbacks got at number 6 with Lawler?
I mean, I think there's some it's tough to say excitement right now about the Diamondbacks after they just lost 22-1 the other night, and the record that they've had. They've very clearly been overshadowed around here by what the Suns are doing. But I think the biggest excitement for this D-backs team is the pieces they have that could be here like 2 years down the road. And for the most part, you would assume he probably fits into that category, or at least where he'd start to make an impact. And so there's excitement in that sense because they think maybe they got a guy that maybe should have gone before them. But other than that, it's so tempered right now with everything else going on.
Is there anything left to trade for the Diamondbacks?
I mean, there are some okay pieces here that I think maybe could help a contender. They don't want to trade Ketel Marte. I mean, certainly they could trade him and get some stuff. I don't think they want to trade Zach Gallen. He might be the most untouchable. I also would say probably nobody's completely untouchable, but those are your two main guys that they want to build around. I think anybody else is available if teams come knocking, and they have for a few of them, but I would expect to see a decent amount of these guys move before the deadline.
Luke Lipinski in Phoenix. Great stuff, man. We appreciate it. Have yourself a great week.
All right, you too. Take care.
Chris Domino, 680 The Fan in Atlanta, Georgia's next. Chris, how are you, buddy?
Well, kind of a loaded question.
All right,
because we're back to not having nice things in this town.
Yeah. All right, let's start with the fact that the All-Star Game, the Home Run Derby, is happening tonight in Colorado. This game was supposed to be right there in Atlanta, Georgia. What's the reaction now that it's here and it's not here in Atlanta?
Yeah, I think everybody that sort of wanted to make their statement made their statement. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I'm sure we'll see a number on viewership in Atlanta. You got to, Freddie Freeman's playing in the game. Ozzie Albies are playing the game, and obviously Ronald Acuna was going to play in the game. So I think there were going to be people who were going to watch it. I don't know if the Acuna injury. My belief is, and I said it last night, and I said it again this morning. I think Braves fans just need a few days away from baseball. I just think it's put it down. Don't think about it. If you want to watch, great. Watch it mindlessly as the game that it is. But don't be thinking about buyers, sellers, and everything else. It's really going to have to be talked about in earnest over the next couple of weeks here.
What is the prognosis for Acuna?
9 to 10 to 11 months. I mean, you got a guy who wants to steal bases and is a good runner. I think there was a good sign yesterday that he was actually at the ballpark to sort of do a little press conference. I get nervous. I'm not trying to equate what these guys do for a living, but I had a 14, turning 15-year-old daughter who tore her ACL, and all of a sudden you're away from your team, and, these guys especially. Nobody gives you a standing ovation when you walk into PT. Nobody gives 6 trips when you're working on a side field trying to get your crap together and trying to get healthy. And I get nervous when 22, 23, 24-year-old guys who've been told how great they are, and in some cases rightfully so, what they're going to be and how they're going to go about this. He vows, he said, if I gave 500%, I'm going to give 1,000% now. So it's all good. I'm telling you, they're going to be backfield moments, and they're going to be PT and rehab moments where you better have the right friends, the right family, and really the right people working with you, to be honest. Today was a good day. Tomorrow you have to work harder, whatever it is. Those messages are really going to be important for this guy in the next 10 months.
Yeah, no, it is. And is there any optimism that things are going to, I know you said we're back to not having nice things. Is there any optimism for where this team is going, or do they actually take this opportunity to say, okay, it's over, and maybe do a quick, make some moves for next year with the trade deadline?
Yeah, it is interesting. Charlie Morton's tradable. Drew Smyler, the way he's pitched, is tradable. You really don't have much else. If somebody wants a back-end guy in Will Smith, if you think he's going to be a little bit better with you than maybe he's been here, maybe he's liable because at least he's been there, done that. But there isn't as much as that stuff as you would think. The big one is obviously Freddie Freeman, who's going to be a free agent, and he's a 10-5 guy. And I'm not even telling you they'll publicly even hint about the idea of thinking about, all of these words, hint, think. Nobody wants to say that publicly. But there is this idea that if you're not going to be in it this year, the problem is the 4 games out, 4.5 games out. You're not very good, but look, we're still in it. And teams have come back from further. But it's just, you play Tampa, you play San Diego coming out, and I guess the first couple of weeks out of the break will determine something. But, my analogy is, you ever play chess and you know that all of your pieces are gone, like your rook is gone, your queen is gone, all your important pieces are gone. And somebody walks on the board and they say, why does he have so many more things than you? You go, well, because we can't have nice things in this town. And all you keep doing for a little bit is you move the king. I move him one space to the left. I move him one to the right, one up to avoid. You're playing in check, but you're trying to avoid checkmate for as long as you can. So let's just say the next 2 weeks coming out of the All-Star break could be finally sort of a checkmate on the season if it doesn't go well in the first 10 or 12 games.
Barkevius Mingo, serious accusations about his behavior with children. Atlanta cutting him, his agent saying they're acting prematurely. I think you can understand even just the allegations are probably enough for somebody to say, we gotta get rid of this guy. Now, what's the feeling of the fans as far as how the Falcons acted?
Yeah, I think what it is you got a brand new general manager who I'm assuming the coach said, no doubt about it, this is what has to happen. But the general manager stood up and said, that's good enough for us. The accusations are big enough that he doesn't need to be around us. And I think there's sort of it's not a rousing applause. I think there's an applause to that. He'll have his day in court. I just don't need you in my building. And I don't think it's because of the distraction thing. Look, nobody knows if he's a good enough player. And there are certainly a whole bunch of, episodes where a guy who's better gets a little bit more, well, let's play this out. They've got nothing emotionally invested in him. And I think it was the smart move. You don't need him walking into the building. I don't care if it's players or front office people giving him stink eye day to day. It's just, he'll have his day. Nobody's accusing him of anything. What they are saying is we just don't need it. And I think the feeling around here was, for a brand new general manager, it's kind of a nice little look that maybe they're not going to put up a crap. They're not going to all be quiet boys. They'll all be looking for work if they're all quiet boys, but you don't need this type of thing anywhere near your building at this point.
No doubt. Chris, last question. That is about the Atlanta Hawks. Do you see any kind of major moves coming from the Hawks this offseason right now?
It was funny. Funny. I don't know if that's the right word. Tony Ressler, the owner, spoke, and he said, there's a chance we're not going to be able to sign everybody that you guys want us to sign. In other words, bringing the band back together. I mean, what he's talking about is John Collins. If Lou Williams wants a 3-year deal, you can just tell him, thanks, I appreciate it. Go get a 3-year deal someplace else. But John Collins turned down 90, and he bet on himself, and now he's going to have a chance to shop his wares for the Hawks match. I don't know. They might have a walkaway point. I'd like to see it run back. I'd like to see this group sort of grow a year older with a full year in Nate McMillan. But I'm also, not immune to knowing that if your general manager was good enough to find some of these guys, let them go find a cheaper alternative and see if you can push that. Trae Young's going to get his. I think Gallinari's here for a while. I think Herter's here for a while. I think Cam Reddish might have actually proven something at the end. Collins is the one guy that everybody's looking at. And I think there's a walkaway price because I don't think they want to match him. I'd like to know my owner might pay the tax on it, but there's not an indication that would happen because they've never been good enough to have that happen yet. So, again, I like what they did at the end of the year. You and I talked about it. The nice things is we had a guy step on a ref's foot. And when he stepped on a ref's foot, he hurt his ankle bad enough where he couldn't play a game and then wasn't really effective in the one that he played. And the referee didn't even flinch. But the guy didn't even lift his foot. There was never a moment where that guy looked like he knew what happened. So it's just another example of who knows. It's just what might have been perhaps in the city of Atlanta as opposed to what actually has or what actually was.
Chris, thank God you're there to stand guard for the people of Atlanta, though.
Sarin, I've thought about that a few times. I consider myself, one of those pillars who just have to, look around and say, yep, we're screwed. We're screwed. I don't even know how many watts our radio station is, but I do believe that we have enough amperage, wattage, and voltage to actually let the city know that there goes another one. I got guys who actually argue with me. They were fighting with each other on Twitter the other day. We're not cursed. It's just a couple of bad things happen. That's fine. I think we're cursed.
Okay.
I'm rolling with Thursday.
Yeah. Listen, we know the feeling. Wasn't a lot going on here until about 5 years ago when the Royals got in and won it. Sporting Kansas City actually in 13, and the Royals in 15, and the Chiefs in 19. So we're on a little mini run. We ain't Tampa just yet, but we've been going pretty good. So I feel for you guys down there in Atlanta.
I told somebody I was going to be on in Kansas City, and the guy looked at me longingly. Oh, Kansas City. That's a great sports town. They're so fortunate.
Chris, you're the man. Appreciate it. Have yourself a great week.
Take care, sir.
And Mike Rice, KOA, and the voice of the Rockies, is next in Denver, Colorado. Mike, how are you, sir?
Doing great, Soren. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing a lot better, thanks to a maid in Denver who found, saw what was piles of guns, tons of ammunition, body armor, 4 suspects subsequently apprehended, and it appears that what was going to be a celebration of baseball could have been a very terrible situation. How incredible is the moment right now in Denver that this maid reports this and what looked like a mass shooting was averted?
Yeah, I mean, if that's indeed the case, that something like that was being planned, I mean, those maids are civic heroes, right? Or any kind of heroes. I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, I don't know that we have all the details yet, but boy, what do you say other than thank goodness that they were alert enough and aware enough to not only recognize what they saw, but also then to say something to the authorities. So, yeah, no doubt. Let's have a good couple of days here with the Derby tonight and the game tomorrow, and just people having a great time.
Yeah, and a tip of the cap to some people that certainly saw something that didn't look right, called the authorities, and the authorities were there. We'll see as the details become available. And this All-Star game, a game that wasn't even supposed to be in Denver. I mean, is everything? Listen, they play baseball on a regular basis, so I know that part's easy. But does it feel like, we're coming hopefully down the home stretch of a pandemic and only having months' notice to put this game on, does it still feel like the full spectacle of the All-Star game?
No question at all. This weekend, you could really feel the activity heating up, and just everything from social media posts to friends of mine that were out and about, anecdotal, stories and things like that. Yeah, people are well aware of why the game was moved here, I think, but I don't think people are really caring about all the political reasons. I think people are excited about the spectacle that is All-Star Week and weekend, and they're excited about Trevor Story being in the Derby. They're excited about German Marquez taking, I think, what could be a nice role on this pitching staff for the National League. And they're excited for all the activities. They've just got so much going on throughout the downtown area. The Futures game yesterday at Coors Field, the Derby tonight, the game tomorrow. So when people are ready to be out, they're excited to be out. Coors Field has been open for capacity crowds, fully open for Rockies games now since right at the end of June when they had their opening day 2.0. And people are ready, and you can really feel the excitement building through the weekend. There's no question.
Unfortunately, the hometown team not in a pennant race. The next date on the calendar is the trade deadline for baseball as we look over the All-Star game to the trade deadline. Anything going to be cooking with the Rockies?
I don't know. I've been asked that, and I've thought about it a lot. And certainly, yes, they could be a team that's very active as a team that is selling, right? Because they're 11 under 500. But at the same time, it's a younger group that's playing better, got their first road series win of the year, and people would say, well, I mean, look, it's the All-Star break, and they're just winning their first series on the road all year. They've been, struggling so badly on the road. But these are steps that even Charlie Blackmon a couple weeks ago said, I really feel like we're headed in the right direction, and we are making progress. Soren, this is a good baseball team at Coors Field. The Rockies are 31-17. That's really good. Now, they've got to just somehow figure out a way to win more road games, but I don't know if it's a given that Trevor Story is traded. I don't know that it's a given that John Gray is traded. And certainly the talk that's being floated out there, and I don't know if it's just for, sports talk, fodder, or web clicks, that German Marquez should be a guy that the Rockies trade. Are you serious? I mean, that to me is beyond ludicrous. I could see the Rockies kind of standing pat and saying, you know what, want Trevor back. We hope he'll re-sign with us, and we're going to take whatever compensation we can get if he decides to go elsewhere. No, Rockies making some moves, but I don't know that it's a given that they're just going to deal all these guys just because that's the common thought that's out there that they should do.
Yeah, and Trevor Story not having his best season, so there would be an element of selling low right now on Trevor Story, and again, just a rental player because he's a free agent, so maybe a contract would have to be done to get any kind of major return for Trevor Story. How about the Nuggets offseason? They played so great without Jamal Murray, and of course, hope to get him back. What does their offseason entail? What are they looking for? What do you expect them to get done?
Yeah, I mean, I think they do need to do something, right? And getting Murray back would be helpful. Although, you know, I'm trying to think back. The knee injury was February, I think. So I don't know that he would be ready to go right at the beginning of the season if the ACL timeline of 9 to 12 months holds. And obviously, we all know for the NBA, it's about the end of the season, not the beginning. So he's got all year to get back into where he needs to be by next year's playoff chase and race and all of that. I still think there are a couple of pieces that they need to fill. I still think they need to shoot better from the outside, Seren. You've got to be able to find another guy for Jokic, and maybe the Jokic, Murray, Michael Porter Jr. trio would be that answer. But perimeter defense, I think, is always something that Michael Malone is going to look at. So this Nuggets team is in a really good place. But when you talk about taking that next step to the sort of perennially elite place, I do think they have a little work to do. But where they've come from is just simply amazing. And they've got the piece in Joker, who's one of those rare superstars that is happy being here. And he's got a longer-term deal right now. And so that piece is in place at least for the next few years. And that is certainly a really, really good piece to have in place for them.
Yeah, the pieces that are, they have to make decisions on. Will Barton's got a player option so that'll be up to him as to whether or not he wants to walk away, but it's for pretty good money at over $14 million. And then, that's JaVale McGee, a guy who is a role player. So they're in pretty good shape. That core of that team is in place, and the Nuggets are going to be tough to beat for a while in that Western Conference. Mike Rice, you're the man. We appreciate all the time. Thanks so much, and have yourself a great All-Star Game week.
Seren, thanks for having me on. Always love being with you.
Local talk plus national headlines from the people who are there. The 2-Minute Drill on the program with Seren Petro on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
The Joe's end of the hour question is: Shohei Ohtani has hit 33 home runs through the first 82 games of his season. Who is the most recent player to have also hit 33 home runs through his first 82 games?
Exactly 33 or more? 33 or more?
33 or more.
Through how many games?
82.
Who got off to a big number? Was Bryce Harper get out to some big number? No.
Not Bryce.
Aaron Judge?
Not Aaron Judge.
Giancarlo Stanton?
Nope. A little bit earlier.
We mentioned this guy earlier today.
He's a reoccurring character.
Think of the feud.
I know. I'm trying to remember what the hell the feud questions. When I scribble out what I've was. Troy Glaus.
No.
Albert Pujols.
Hey,
nailed
Albert
it.
Pujols. Ding, ding, ding.
Nailed it. Yes. Yes. God, Albert Pujols. I should have got that. He got that many.
Yep, 2006.
What did he finish with?
I think it was 52.
Really? He didn't get to 50? All right, Joe's Kansas City Barbecue, what we were playing for. Thank you, Coward. Appreciate that. Well done. Joe's Kansas City Barbecue. Get it right now. Go to joeskc.com. Put in an order to pick up tonight on your way home. App, that's how I do it. That's the easiest way to get it done. Incredible barbecue at Joe's Kansas City. And, of course, the Kansas City Barbecue Store has everything you need. Sauces, rubs, grills, know-how. Any questions you got on how to create the finest creations when it comes to the grill, the smoker, it's at Joe's Kansas City Barbecue Store. They're at 119th and Strangline. Online at the Kansas City BBQ Store. cbc7e8eaf2694de19982ad63016a12b0. Our thanks to the guys on the 2-minute drill joining us. We want to congratulate our SB winners as we are announcing them as we go. Our male high school athlete of the year for Missouri, presented by Wholesale Batteries, Ethan Lee. The Liberty North Junior brought home 4 golds at the Missouri Class 5 state track meet, finishing first in the 800, 1600, as well as the 4x400 and 4x800 relay. You know what's wild about that, Jed?
What's that?
All the events I ran.
Yeah, I know. I thought you were quite the track star.
800, 1600, 4x4, and the 4x8. Those were my events as well.
And were you the anchor in the 4x8?
I was. Yeah, they put the fastest.
Most important
spot.
spot.
Anchor. They do an 800-meter relay.
I'm
Good
not
Lord.
participating in that.
I'm not. No. Ethan, my man.
Ouch.
I'm proud of you. How about that? Liberty North representing 4 golds at the Missouri Class 5 State Track Championship. That is fantastic. Congratulations, Ethan, our ESPY Award winner for the Missouri High School Athlete of the Year in the state of Missouri, presented by our friends at Wholesale Batteries. Congrats to you. And don't forget pickleball coming up this week, Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be at Chicken and Pickle tonight, 5 o'clock. Registration ends. Get your team together. Still a little bit of time. Got about a half hour. Rush. Hurry. Now, 810whb.com. And join us for a little pickleball this week. Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to crown the city champion in 3 levels. So even if you're a novice or if you're an expert, bring it. Bring it. I want to see some skills on the pickleball court. We'll be broadcasting up there at Chicken and Pickle later this week for our city championship, courtesy of Sports Radio 810 WHB and Chicken and Pickle. Sign your team up. Couple of spots still open, but you got till just 5 o'clock tonight to get that team registered. So go right now, 810whb.com. NBA playoffs. You had Hawks in 5, which I thought was really bold, being that they're not even in the finals.
I don't follow the game that closely, so
No.
I just took a shot at a team.
I'm proud of you for making that kind of bold and daring prediction there. Save that usually for Thursdays, but I digress. No, you had the Suns in 5.
Suns in 5, and I'm still looking. They have a chance.
To be right, the Bucks had to win one somewhere.
True.
What'd you want, it at 3-0 only?
I would have preferred 3-0 and then have the letdown game there, but seeing a 20-point, I won't say bloodletting, but certainly ass-kicking was probably a fair term to use, so I'm not feeling real great. Home court advantage is proving to be a lot more important than I had thought.
I think this game was very expected. The Bucks fighting for their lives. The Suns maybe feeling good about themselves. Bucks getting that jolt you get from home court, getting the whistle you get from home court. Monty Williams trying to stop that right away with his post-game comments, talking about how Giannis took more free throws than the entire Suns team did. Giannis also goes to the rim more than the entire Suns team does. He's down on the blocks. He's driving to the basket. He should go to the line more, right? But I don't have any problem with Monty Williams trying to work the officials. That's just good coaching. And I think the Suns are going to come out. I think the next game is going to be a war. And if the Bucks win it, then you're in trouble. Obviously, your prediction went down the toilet. But as far as the Suns winning it, if the Bucks win it, then the Suns are in trouble. But I won't say it's over. It's not like, oh man, the Bucks got all the momentum. No, it's a series now. Now that the Bucks have gotten a win, but if the Suns get it 3-1, 3-1 is pretty much liquid death in basketball.
As I said, home court advantage going back on the road to Phoenix, where they've looked pretty damn impressive, at least in the first 2 there.
Yeah, if the Suns get 3-1, I think you're going to be right. Suns in 5. But if the Bucks get it, I think we're going 7.
And I'd be fine with that. I mean, as you said, it's 2 very interesting teams because we've asked Brian D in Milwaukee and Luke Lipinski in Phoenix whether these teams have the makings of dynasties, and I think we've heard from both fan bases that because it's been so long in the Bucks case and in the Suns case, they've never won a title. I think they're hyper-focused on this year and getting the title, which is a smart way to view it when your team is in the finals. But I do think as far as an NBA topic, there are a lot of things about what happens with both of these teams moving forward.
Now, the good news is that they'll play Game 4 on September 15th.
Yeah.
Is when that's scheduled for. So there's a little
23.
time to recover and get ready. They're not playing till Wednesday.
And I get it tonight with the Home Run Derby and tomorrow with the All-Star game, but I think if you're in the NBA's position, I think you actually try and make a statement and go against those things and crush them in the ratings. But
I agree.
They're both ESPN properties. One will be on ABC, one will be on ESPN. So I get not wanting to cannibalize your own in that sense.
Yeah, I think that is absolutely what it is. But I do think if they were on competing networks, you could take the NBA Finals right up against the All-Star Game and stomp on its guts.
Yeah, even with the star power of the All-Star Game and having Ohtani in there, which I think will be really interesting to watch his one at-bat and his one-inning pitch.
Edge of your seat?
For that one inning, yeah.
And then you're out? You're done?
I mean, I'll watch it because it's my job, but no, I certainly won't be as engaged. I mean, as I've talked about, if Whit Merrifield gets an AB, I'll watch that pretty intently. Salvi behind the dish, I want to see what he does. He already has an All-Star Game MVP, so maybe add more hardware to his Hall of Fame case. Not that I think an All-Star Game MVP would help, but it is just one more thing on the mantle. But outside of that, no, I'm good.
I'm glad. In a way, I'm glad. Just as a talk show host, it gives me a major event each night. But I like the All-Star Game. I'll be watching it. I'll be sitting there. My kids want to watch something else. It'll be on a side TV with no volume, though. Right? It didn't like Chiefs games. No, Daddy's got to watch the game. No, I'm available. Unfortunately, we're caught up on Loki, so we won't be watching Loki for those that are Marvel fans out there. As the Petro House is. I was forced into it, kicking and screaming.
I do not buy that.
Well, my kids wanted to watch it, so I'll do anything for my kids. So, but I've actually enjoyed it. I'm glad they did. I really like the Marvel stuff, so I'm into it. And I really like the Loki show too. It's a little out there. They said we read up on what goes into it, that this was their biggest risk of all their shows. I don't know how Loki could be. It has to deal with time travel and stuff like that. I don't know how it could be a bigger risk than She-Hulk, which is coming. I don't know if it's the next one or the one after. She-Hulk. That's a risk in my book. I'm all for like equal rights and everything, but does that include subjecting oneself to gamma rays? I guess. Watch how, knowing them, it'll be marvelous. It'll be
Your
absolutely.
favorite one yet?
It probably will. I think they're amazing. I wish the people that did Marvel would get a hold of the Star Wars sagas. Because the Marvel movies have been a hell of a lot better than the Star Wars movies of late.
Does the She-Hulk have a name, or is it just referred to as the She-Hulk?
I think she does. I was looking at IMDb. I think one of the things that is of note about that series is the woman who is the She-Hulk is Palestinian, I believe. So they're wandering into some politics there, huh? Falcon and the Winter Soldier wandered into some politics. But, yeah. So, listen, the Home Run Derby, I'm down for the Home Run Derby tonight because Salvi's in it. And I think the Home Run Derby's better than the All-Star Game. I think a Home Run Derby's more entertaining to watch than an actual baseball game.
I would probably agree there, but I think that we're setting the bar pretty low when you're saying, well, this is better than this. I mean, an exhibition baseball game, absolutely. What's the merit in watching it? I get the spectacle of what the All-Star Game is. I'm glad that they took out cheesy and bad ideas to try and make it matter. But the Home Run Derby, to me, is a lot like the slam dunk competition in basketball. I would much rather watch guys drill threes or do the skills competition. Just watching dudes hit far home runs. I've been at baseball games and seen a lot of big bombs.
They did a skills competition at one point, like throwing into a trash barrel and
yeah, Tom Amansky style.
Yeah, literally. I mean, from the outfield, and like, would you want to see a baseball skills competition, and what the hell would it look like?
I don't know what it would look like, and no, it doesn't sound like it'd be very fun. It sounds like it would be a lot of drills. I don't. Maybe the reason the skills competition works at the NBA level is because you get to see just the diversity of all the skills on display on great NBA players, seeing very unique attributes like Joel Embiid handling the ball, shooting threes, things of that nature that are not conventionally seen. To see a 500-foot home run, well, no, I don't see one go 500 per se. I've seen a 480.
I disagree. I think the home run is still a majestic sporting accomplishment. I mean,
Maybe. I bet if I was in Colorado.
I don't hate the dunk contest either, though. Like, I'm fine if you want to marry the two of them up and be like, hey, yeah, they're great, but, like, in abundance, like, what makes them great is when they happen within the course of the game.
Yeah.
Organically, and in the course of a game, they're not every second. Like, I don't think the dunk contest has improved with the shot clock and miss it 4 times and then make it. I think that sucks.
It does suck. And the fact that you can't be downgraded for the fact that I tried this dunk 6 times and missed it 5.
Yeah.
But on number 6, oh, that's a 10. Well, no, it's not a 10. The guy obviously couldn't do the dunk 5 times. Take that into account and give him a 15.
But I disagree. I do like the home run derby. I mean, I think because anyone who's ever played baseball or even softball, to hit a ball that far, I mean, I can't launch a softball.
Well, I mean, to hit a baseball is hard enough. Whether you hit it far or square one up, I agree with you in the sense that athletic competition, one of the reasons why I wanted to get into this field is because I'm able to marvel at what all of the professional and to a certain level collegiate athletes.
And no other profession would take you.
Well, yeah, there is quite a bit of that also. But so, I mean, I do appreciate it from that sense, but it's completely your point. Just seeing, wow, that guy hit 14 home runs in a row. That was great.
I am looking forward tonight to a couple of things. One, seeing when they're going to get Tim Kirkjian out of the hole he's standing in. Was it considered a good idea to have him standing at a table and Kirkjian be there with someone, I don't know who it is, that looks like they're 6'6", and Kirkjian, I think, is like, no joke, is like 5'3" or 5'4"?
Yeah, he's not a tall man.
No, but by all accounts, a great guy. And such a great voice. I mean, I love it. I love it when the non-traditional, like Kevin Harlan has great pipes, but it's nice to have somebody who doesn't, right? Like, get me. It makes me feel good. My voice sucks. Good. Somebody else's voice sucks. That's great. So I do. I'm a Kirkjian fan. The other thing I'm looking forward to watching tonight is how long Jeff Passan can pull off this Men in Black look he's trying with the black suit, black tie, and tie clip. Is he at some point going to, start dancing to the Men in Black theme song?
If he's wearing sunglasses at night, that'll be the ultimate kicker. You know the old Larry David line about that. I'll share it during the break.
Can it not be said on the radio?
I don't want to offend anyone. So.
Okay. It's not that song, right?
I don't know.
I wear my sunglasses.
No.
No, not it?
No.
Are you a sunglasses at night guy?
No, because I'm not a AH or visually impaired. I guess that's the joke.
All right.
So
is that what it is?
Yeah.
You did it? Okay.
The only people who wear sunglasses inside or at night are AHs or visually impaired people.
Okay. Fair point. I think we've drilled down there. We've gone as far as we
Do you need me
now.
to explain it one more time?
No,
because
I got
the
it. I'm hip to that one. Yeah, I got it.
I don't know. LaMelo Ball looked pretty cool with the sunglasses on the other day at the SB's inside.
Yikes.
Is it? Are you automatically an AH if you wear your sunglasses? I don't do
either that or you're high. I mean, if you're just sitting in a room especially at night, but inside.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking you've probably gone down that road a time or two.
No, I just get some eye drops or whatever. I'm not going to make myself look like an idiot. I'll just plop in some eye drops and go about my day.
Listen, any thought of quote unquote looking cool is gone for my.
Oh, yeah, because I'm super hip over here. I at least sort of try, but it's not working.
You're not as old as me, beaten down by family and kids, just barely hanging on to any kind of semblance of self-worth. You're not there yet.
No, I am not to the point where I am injured from picking weeds.
I'm not injured. I'm sore.
Sore
hamstrings.
So
picked a lot of weeds over the weekend.
As opposed to certain guys, I won't say names. You definitely would be in the lineup tonight. You would not say, I need a 10-day IL stint.
No 10-day IL for me. The hammies will.
I love it. I love that you're a gamer, pet.
Mm-hmm. I'm a gamer, no doubt. 913-810-810. Joe wants in on the home run derby conversation. You're in the program, Joe. What's going on, buddy?
Hey guys. I've always wanted to, they're always trying to reinvent these things. Like the NBA did with the shot clock and the dunk thing that doesn't work, whatever. What about either pitchers hitting a home run derby contest with aluminum bats or just the regular players with limited bats. I mean, I would love to see 600-foot home runs, and I think that would be the deal.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've got a theory since you brought it up. Would you be worried about the guy's dad who's throwing the ball to him maybe losing his face in life?
Don't they have a little net? Don't they have like a net or they could
how
poke that up?
How about the
bit?
little kids running around the outfield?
Yeah, maybe clear them off for that one.
We're now calling. I like it, Joe. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. We're now bringing the kids off the field, and the players will now grab the. How about the fans in the stands? Like idiots are going to reach for the ball, and if it's coming out there at I don't know, maybe it's
140 miles per hour. Yeah, that doesn't seem great. And that screen, I know, is super secure and couldn't possibly be knocked over by a ball coming back.
I would think you would stop and put the screen back up, but
you get my point. I mean, if a guy's, that seems like an interesting idea.
I do think that there's a flaw in anything that you haven't nailed it. Like, my frustration with the home run derby is every year the rules change, and I'd like them to get to wherever they're going with the home run derby and lock it down so we can start having some home run derby records. But you can't have any records because one year you get 40 swings, and one year you get 10 minutes, and one year you get 5 minutes, and they're like, oh, most home runs in a home run derby. Well, one year we had 2 rounds, and then this other year we had 5 rounds. Like, just get to what it is so we can start having some records. Like, I think if you had some history and you could be like, oh, my God, this guy just bested Mark McGwire's number, then there would be a little bit more to it, right? Same thing with the dunk contest. Like, we had, the only guy to get a 50 was Jordan, right? But no, everybody gets a 50, which is a problem in and of itself. But, if you can nail down what the rules are, then we could have some history. Now we have no history. Like, every year it's a brand new competition. But my fix-it for the home run derby would be 16 American League and 16 National League, one from each team, and then the highest home run total that's not, the second guy from one team, highest home run total that wasn't one of the first 15. Seed them 1 through 16, play them down, and get an AL versus NL for the home run derby champion. And shorten the rounds, whatever it takes, so that there's not a million swings and it doesn't go on for 16 hours. Whether it's a minute, 2 minutes, whatever. You go a minute in the first round, 2 in the second, 4, 8, whatever you want to do to get down to where we get a tournament that brings down I don't think the All-Star game should have a representative from every team because, as we know here in Kansas City, Mark Redmond sucked, and it was embarrassing to have Mark Redmond. I'd rather have nobody than being embarrassed by Mark Redmond out there representing the Royals in the All-Star game. But in the home run derby, that's not an all-star game. It's just a skills competition. So go ahead and there's somebody represents every team in the home run derby, and then we can get rid of this dreck of having dog meat players representing turd teams. And then we could have the home run derby, and it'd be fun. That's my solution for fixing the home run derby. Since you asked, right? I wasn't going to share with anyone but Joe. Since you asked, there it is. I've got the solutions. They just got to ask me. It's really that simple. We'll talk some more. I do want to talk some more about the NBA Finals. 913-810-810. You're in the program.
The program with Soren Petro.
Well, you are my guy. God bless you. Where are all the guys like you?
Weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
You're listening to the program on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Soren Petro with you. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking to Jordan Dajani of CBS Sports, NFL writer for CBS Sports, as he has penned a piece quoting Tyreek Hill about the Chiefs' chances of making it to another Super Bowl, amongst other things. We'll talk about that with Jordan. NBA Finals going on. Of course, you'll hear Game 4 right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB on Wednesday. Tonight you'll hear the Home Run Derby, tomorrow the All-Star Game, and then NBA Finals. Pretty good week of listening if you're out and about in your car here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, the home of all the big sporting events here in Kansas City. I do think the Bucs, I was more bullish on the Bucs than most people, and I do see an avenue, but I think Game 4 is it. But Bobby Portis, to me, strange as it may be, and we were talking about this morning, I think Bobby Portis is one of the big keys. Like their ability to defend the pick and roll. Bobby Portis is a lot more agile than Brook Lopez, and that's been one of the keys. And Giannis then going in and kind of playing like the big. And I think they get more spacing. I think they're getting better shots. And I think they may have uncovered the way they need to play in this series against the Hawks. I think it was a big revelation, for lack of a better term, for them in this series to see, okay, this is how it all fits together. This is the way we need to play. And I don't know why they didn't get there quicker. Right? Like, if you want to say Monty Williams has clearly been the better coach, I don't think there would be any argument. But if Budenholzen's figured it out soon enough and he still gets the championship, then, kudos to him. But Giannis back-to-back games with 40. They asked him, are you going to break the record of 4 in a row by Jordan? And it seemed like genuine. He's like, oh, God, no. Oh, God, no. I actually think he might. I think he might because they've decided Giannis inside, they can't stop him. And he is a beast in there. But I will also tell you, you got to be able to hit free throws when people are taunting you.
100%. And even with the free throw issues, if Giannis goes on and continues, even if the Bucks fall and he ends up having 6 double-doubles and multiple games of 40 points, whew.
Could he actually win the MVP without being on the winning team?
Maybe. That's pretty damn impressive.
I know it happened in the NFL once in the Super Bowl era. I'm trying to think. It happened in the NBA Finals. I think Jerry West won it as a loser with the Lakers against the Celtics. I think he got the most valuable MVP of the finals. So I think it has happened, but this may be the time for it to happen as well. But Bobby Portis was big as far as I'm concerned, plus 19 in the plus-minus ratio in just 18 minutes, and they won by 20. That was the key, Bobby Portis. We'll talk some more NBA a little bit later on. You're in the program.
It's the Jazz end of the hour question on the Half Shell. Sponsored by Jazz, a Louisiana kitchen.
Laissez le bon temps rouler.
Giannis is shooting 78% on shot attempts in the paint in the NBA Finals, which would be the highest of all time. What NBA player currently holds the record for the highest points in the paint field goal percentage in the Finals?